Looks like he hits it in reverse here and swings that ass end over to the right and doesn't realize that there's a walking bridge going across there. Listen to the sound of this right here. Yeah, get you some. Look at that thing right there. I bet you didn't know a boat could do that. Now, you might have heard of Sea Fox. Well, that's a new boat called Seesaw. Welcome to Credit Card Cat.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast here on Halloween weekend. And you can see us on www.strongisland.com or on Roku or Fire Stick. Or watch us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch TV. If you got a Twitch on your Fire Stick, you're all set. Little penicillin, whoop, clears it right up.
Oh, hey.
Strong Island TV, we already did that one.
My Fire Stick is still working.
I was just reminding people, that's all.
And we got a great show for you today. We always have a great show, but this one is really great. It's an old friend of ours coming on, and we have the Dean of the Clown College, Mike Grief.
Oh, I'm thinking spooky stuff. Yeah, I'm excited about today's show. Definitely.
And we have Yoda Mitchell, Craig Mitchell.
It's Halloween. Hey, chick.
The hell is that? I thought he's having a seizure.
No, that was wishful thinking, John.
What the hell is that?
He was doing his Abbott and Costello. We're like, I hope he's dying, and that's not it.
I thought it was Curly from the Three Stooges.
No, that's this.
Oh my God! At least,
Yes.
at least your impressions are up to date. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm current of anything.
Well, hey, before we bring on our guests, what was with that boat? That guy driving that boat. Oh my God!
Come on, man. You never had a couple of too many beers, maybe a little too much heroin. You throw it in the wrong gear. I mean, not heroin. I would never do that.
Oh, my.
I mean, not to get political, but that's what those Trump boat parades used to look like. Boats sinking everywhere, hitting docks. I mean, some of these people that get on boats, I mean, I think they've never been on a boat before.
What do you think? It's not easy to run a boat. Boats don't have brakes or nothing like. Now, look, that guy was obviously needed a little bit of training, but I've had a boat, and boats, you know, it's not like they got brakes. You gotta like cut the engine and aim it in a certain way, and then you glide somewhere. I mean, I don't know. That's
when I had my 24-foot sailboat, and I used to get in so much trouble because I don't want to say that I'm a good sailor, but I am a good sailor. I would come up the pier. I would come up the canal, right, under full sail. I never used the motor. I'd drop the mainsail, spin around in a 360, and pull right into the spot between two mega yachts. And the guy from the marina would run down every day and go, "Can you come in with a motor?" I go, "No, I love doing this."
Yeah, when I saw that boat go out of control and kind of crash up on the dock, it kind of reminded me of the first time I had sex. It was something exactly like that.
The first time you had, I'm not.
What, you were laying on top of a dock like a.
Yeah, well, the dock's down on the west side. It's dark in those alleys.
And those hamsters will never be the same.
Oh my God, who am I, Richard
All
Gere?
right.
What are you doing?
Come on, man. Let's get to our guest.
Yeah, let's get off of this cloud. So the next guest we have is, oh God, I don't even know how long I've known him for. Many, 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 many years. He's had an amazing career. He was in Paul Blart Mall Cop. He was on Top Gear America. Woo. He was on Rescue Me. He was on Nurse Jackie. And
he's an amazing stand-up comic.
He's a good guy. He's just a good guy.
Yes.
And we're happy to have him on the show today. And he's a very funny stand-up. So let's show a little.
Roll the video.
Good idea.
I was all over the place. I was in Venice. Venice is beautiful, man. Has anybody been to Venice? Gorgeous, isn't it? Oh. That's like old world romance. Guys, if you can't get laid in Venice, turn your balls in at the nearest drop box. You grab a girl, you get in the gondolas, they got the Italian guys singing to you. And these are real Italian guys. Not like the guys in my neighborhood. Like, hey, get the broad, get in the boat, come here. Don't be a pussy, this is beautiful shit we got over here. These are the real Italian guys. Che fate Lucia, astro l'argento, amore. Go ahead, I know, look. I went to Rome. Saw the Vatican? You ever see the Vatican? Yeah. It's tacky. It's overdone. It's like Graceland with Jesus. It's too much. Thank you for laughing. My mother hates that joke. I did that on TV about 3 months ago. She's still not talking to me. She hands the phone to my father when I call up now. Bring. Hello. Hi, Ma. Did you see Letterman? Joe, it's him. Mm-mm.
Very funny, man. Very funny.
That's funny. How are you guys? Good to see you. Craig, thanks for picking a clip. Did you see Letterman? How long has that been off the air? That's the clip you picked.
Current affairs. Hey, man.
Have you seen a current affair?
Have you seen Flipper?
Look at
That's
this guy.
funny.
Adam, I think I've known you about 30 years, and look at you. How do you still look 35 years old?
What the hell was that, man?
Look at this guy.
Inside, I'm crumbling, Grief. But I haven't seen you guys in how long? First of all, Mike, last time I saw you, I think was in L.A., and it was a long time ago. And now I'm looking at you, and I'm like, it's like a Toys for Tots biker rally. I just want to donate something.
I'll take charity. Hold on, I'm starting an event right now. Go for me. No.
We go back. All right, so we go back. Craig and I remember seeing Craig, Eastside Comedy Club, open mic.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's when I met you on a Wednesday night. That's when I started. And John, you were one of the headliners and stuff. And I just remember Richie, and we were talking about Richie before when I was in the green room, and all those guys that now when we see each other, it just kind of warms your heart when you see everybody again. Now we're at the point in our lives we go like this. How are you? What are you fighting? What do you got?
Adam, I saw you in your first. I was with you in your first gig.
Yeah,
I think you got $10 to do a ground round. I was there. I was
Staten
there.
Island.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you were writing all the stuff down on the paper, and you were nervous as hell, and you went up and you friggin' destroyed, of course.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's because when we started, John, you were a headliner, so you were the guy that we always like, Ferrantino, we work with Ferrantino, all those guys.
He headlined the Last Supper, John. No,
I
Jesus.
remember you yelling at me.
I'm full, Jesus. No more of that body, please. I'm full.
Judas, I don't trust him. I served the soup, but there's something about him I don't like. We were at Chuckles on an open mic, and John, you were closing that thing, right? Because I think you were doing a weekend there. And I remember one of the gags you were setting up, and it was too late and everything. And we're driving by, and you were setting stuff up, and you were angry, I guess, because someone was pushing you. Somebody said, "Come on, we got to start the show." You were pissed off, and I remember we walked by, and I saw the guy yelling at you, and I leaned over. I'm going to say it was Rock Rubin. I leaned over to Rock Rubin. I go, "Don't piss off John. He's a magician. He'll make your balls disappear." He's like,
I remember we used to have a writing group at Eastside Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And you and Kevin came once, Kevin James.
Yeah.
Came once, making believe you were working on new material, and it was really your act.
Yeah. How's this? Is this funny?
And Richie goes,
Are you kidding?
Richie goes, they're too embarrassed to tell us that this is really what they do. They want us to think they're really funny. And you were. You were.
Yeah. For stage time, then, I would want East. Wednesday night was the open mic night, and Joan St. Anne had her class, but it was $10 to take the class.
Right.
I didn't have the $10, so I went to Jimmy's Comedy Alley, and I was in Rob Bartlett's improv troupe, and I got stage time for free. Not doing the math, realizing I'm spending $10 in gas anyway to drive back and forth to Queens, but so I could do that. So then I would go there on Wednesday nights, and then Thursday nights I would just sit at the bar at Eastside because Richie knew I had like 5-10 minutes and stuff, and he figured out, well, wait a minute, I can host the show. Adam can go up, and I don't have to pay him, and I don't have to pay a middle act. So that's how I got stage time.
Yep. I remember that writing group, by the way. Me and Howard Jacobson went once, and I remember we're there and we're interacting with everybody, and after it was done, I forget who it was. It might have been Joey Cola. I don't know who it was. He came over to me like, guys, we he goes, I gotta tell you, we feel that you're not really experienced enough to be in this group, but thanks for coming down. And I go, that sucks, doesn't it, Howard? And Joe, no, Howard can stay. We're talking to you, Craig.
Oh,
I was there. I remember the first one. I don't know why I remember this. Joe DeLion, they go, do you have any premises? And Joe DeLion goes, yeah, I need to come up with a joke on why, what happens when the elastic comes out of your socks. What? It was like, what?
You buy a new pair of socks.
I go, well, the good part is if you have a wooden leg, you can use a thumbtack. Until I
don't ever remember getting invited to ladies' writing sessions.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't invited.
We were afraid of you, Mike.
Grief. I think it was over by the time you showed up. We were all done.
Probably, because I didn't come out to Long Island until, what was it, about 88, 89. I was working to go. I was closer to the city. I grew up in Queens, so I used to just take the train into the city and walk around and do all the open mics and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why I got to work a lot because I didn't have a lot of time, but I had a car, so I would pick up the headliners in the city because John Shule used to book all those lousy bar rooms in Connecticut.
Yeah,
the most honest booker I ever met in my life. Adam, I got a gig. It's a hell room. It's far away and not a lot of money. You want it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'd pick up all the headliners because no one drove in the city when the Improv was over on like 44th. And you pick them up and you're supposed to drop them off and they take a cab to and from. So I was on time. Car was clean. I was Uber before Uber. I had water and I would pick them up and then I would drop them off and I go, where do you live? And they're like, why? I said, you're going to get out of my car to get into another car to go home. I'll take you home. Where do you live? So I dropped them off and they would call up Shule and goes, oh yeah, I'll do the gig, but I want to work with Adam. So that's how I got stage time. You just stick to your time. You don't wreck the room, and you're good.
That's what people don't realize. We'll take any gig because first of all, I can't believe they're paying me, at that point. And secondly, I'm trying out all this material. It's almost like, it's a on the job training kind of a deal in the beginning.
It's funny that you said that.
Did I ever tell you on the way home? We're on the way home from some gig upstate, and Joey Cola had to bail me out of jail.
What?
Really? Yeah, it is.
All right, so we're coming home. It's me and Cola. We're coming home, and me and Kevin had an apartment down in Huntington. So I had since moved back home because I realized I'm on the road. I'm spending this money to visit my clothes. We're on the road, right? So I moved back home. I was doing the gig with Joey. So the cop pulls us over because I had a busted headlight. And Joey's in the car. Goes,
hey man, I'll talk to the police. All right, my brother's on the job. And I know how to talk to these guys. You just let me handle this. I don't want you to worry. You are with me.
I said, fine, Joe. Go right ahead. Knocks on the door. License and registration. Here you go, officer.
Hi, officer. My name is Joey Cola. We are comedians. We are on our way home from a gig. We know that there is a busted headlight. It happened as we left the journey.
I go, journey? We came from the island.
We left the journey. It'll be a mechanical ticket, but we are aware of the situation. I just want you to know, I want to thank you. My brother's on the job. Now, his name is Cola with K.
Okay. Let me just go run this. The cop goes back to the car.
See, pal, that's all you got to do. You explain everything. That's all you got to do.
Oh, thank God you're here, Joey. Cop comes back. Mr. Ferrara, there's a warrant for your arrest. Step out of the car.
Hey, I just met this guy. He's giving me a ride home from a gig. I got a wife. I got kids. I got a go. I grow mint. I got basil. I'm a
Joey turned on a
bought me a boat. I'm a good member of the community.
So they cut me.
Holy shit.
Well,
Joey turned on a
Like
fucking
that.
what was the warrant for?
So they don't know. It's a bench warrant, right? So I'm handcuffed. I'm in the back of the car. The cop goes to Joey. You got to drive the car back to the station. I had an 85 turbo coupe, a Thunderbird. It was a 5-speed. Joey can't drive a shift. So he's behind me. I'm handcuffed. I don't know why I'm handcuffed. I'm in the back of the car, and I smell my clutch burning. He's in first gear the whole time, and I just see the one headlight going.
Oh, we just lost them.
Dude, what happened out there? He is.
All right,
The headlights going. And I'm in the car. I got no idea. So I'm locked at some little headquarters up in upstate New York, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm handcuffed to the bench. Joey comes in. I can hear him, but I can't see him because I'm behind the desk, right? So I can hear him around the wall. And
hey, police officers! I just drove in. I was arrested with some acquaintance of mine, a guy I just met named Ferrara. My name is Cola. My brother's on a job, and I was told to be.
And there's no one's answering. No one's answering him, right? And I'm sitting. I'm not saying anything. I'm just handcuffed. And now he starts reading. It's upstate New York, so he starts reading the bulletin board.
Oh, this guy's wanted. I ain't seen him, but I'll keep an eye out. He's not talking to anybody. He's just there reading. He's like my mother in the car reading the road signs for no reason. You know? Oh, I'm not for sale.
You know? So that's it. So he's just reading. He's like,
look at this. Oh, look at this summer camp for the kids they got up here in Sullivan County.
Man.
Hey, look at that. You can go rafting. You can go rappelling. What is rappelling? What is rappelling?
and then a cop just yells out, "It's called rappelling." Guy comes out. There he is. How can I help you, sir?
Well, like I said, there was a vague acquaintance of mine happened to be arrested in something I wasn't involved in. This was a carpool situation.
Yeah, that was the next thing. I mean, another cop talked to him. I picked up this hit. I was picked up hitchhiking.
Yeah. He's ready everything. You know? So it turns out I had gotten a speeding ticket and I paid the speeding ticket. But when I moved the apartment, when I moved out of the apartment with Kevin, I switched the bank. So by the time that the state got the check, it bounced. So it just bench warrant. That's it.
Man.
They don't know what they didn't know that. So the guy goes, all right, it's $75 bail, right? And I had $50 for me. I got $50. He goes,
All right, I got the $25.
okay, so he covers the rest of my bail, and he says, but your license is suspended till you clean this up. So you can't drive. So we get in the car, and Joey's like,
I have to drive.
I go, we're not gonna have a clutch left if you drink. He goes,
You are a criminal. You can't drive, and I can't be pulled over again. I can't risk it.
You are a criminal.
yeah. So Joey's in the car. Mike, he's in the car. He's driving because he won't get in the car. I said, I'll leave you here. He goes,
You wouldn't dare.
I go, really? I just met this guy.
He's like, we got to get home.
I mean, it's like 3 a.m. now, you know. So we got to get home. All right. So Joey's driving. He's driving. We're going over I think the Tappan Zee Bridge. And I'm like, clutch, and I'm shifting for him. So he's driving, he's stepping on the clutch, and I'm shifting for him. And that's how we got home.
It's the penguins of Madagascar.
I gotta tell you this one thing. When Joey first started, right, he gets a job. He takes a job at one of those Jerry Stanley gigs, only because he wanted a Bob Woods story. And so, what is that noise I hear?
There's an echo.
Somebody's I'm on my regular speakers. It's not me this time.
We got to have Joey on the show now so people can see what a great Joey Adam does.
It is
the best Joey Cola I've ever seen.
We only hear when you talk, Greg.
Really?
So anyway, he takes this gig with Woodsy.
All right.
And it may be me now. He takes a job with Woodsy just because he wants a Woodsy story. So Woodsy's out of his mind, right? And these guys are heckling him in the front row. So at the end of the show, he goes, "So I just want to say, did you enjoy my show? Fijila McRae, Art Carney, and now I have to get off and kick these guys' asses." And he jumps off the stage and he grabs one guy in a headlock, the other guy in a headlock, the other guy jumps on his back, and he's beating on these guys. And he goes, Joey, get our money.
Yeah.
So they go and Joey gets the money. And Joey goes, I look and I see Woodsy come out of the club with one guy in each arm with a guy on his head beating him. He flips the guy off his head, smashes the other two guys' heads together, jumps in the car. Joey goes, I'm terrorized. Right? And he says they drive about 15 minutes and Woodsy goes, I know you don't know me, but I'm just going to tell you, in a couple of months, you may hear some stories about me. Don't believe them.
Adam, I got to say, that story with Cola, I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but that's funnier than Jay Thomas's Long Ranger story. I
just love the Joey Cola impersonation.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I just saw him. He did my podcast, and I had Michael Imperioli on and Steve Sharippa on, and he hosts the Sopranos stuff. So he came on to plug the dates, and I know those guys, and we just had Ralph Macchio just did Drew Barrymore. So we just traded texts because Ralph and I are friends. We did them together. I ran into him at Sirius, and he was heading over there. So we just traded.
What's the story with you and Ralph Macchio?
Well, listen to this. Ralph Macchio used to sit in front
we
of
the
me
movie
at the
together.
No, you look like 25, 30 years younger than you really are. How does that happen?
Well,
how come? So how did you get involved with Top Gear?
I was doing so I'm doing Rescue Me, right? We're shooting.
Wait, before we go any further, the guy on the right,
yeah,
is that like a real picture, or is somebody photoshopped a head on somebody else?
No, that's a real picture. That's Rutledge Wood. That's my pal. So we get we're doing I was doing the Rescue Me comedy tour. So we're on a tour bus, right?
Right.
It's me, Leary, Lenny Clark, Kenny Rogerson, and so we're after the show. It's middle of the night. We're having a cigarette on a tour bus, and Dennis is like, "Hey, what do you think about making this the last season of Rescue Me? We'll do 8 more, and then that's it." And me and Lenny looked at each other and went, "No, we don't have Ice Age money, you skinny Irish fuck. Think of us." So he laughed. He said, "All right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do another. I think he said 18. We'll do another run, and FX will cut it in half, and that'll be less. And then we'll shoot this thing in the head." And okay, so all right, we got to find work, baby. So I always wanted to do something with cars, but I didn't know what it was. And I had done a pilot for History. That didn't go. It was a car thing. They saw the show. They didn't like the show, but they liked me. So they said, "Have you heard of Top Gear?" And I loved the show, but this is when you could only see the clips online because it was an English show.
Right.
So I go, "Yeah, it's a great show." I go, "Don't screw it up." They're like, they got the American rights. I go, "Don't screw it up." She goes like, "Well, we'd like you to be in it." I go, "I don't want to screw it up." I said, "I don't want to be.
Don't screw it up."
Yeah, I don't want to be because I didn't want to do an imitation of those 3 guys. Because what made that show special for me was the cars, but the relationship that those guys had.
Right.
And
yeah, the big English guy is great.
Yeah, they really are. So
great.
I said, "I don't want to do an impression. I don't want to be that guy." He goes, No. We're looking for an American version, and it's done by Jeremy Clarkson. He's the executive producer of it. So I knew it wouldn't be like a cheesy ripoff because it's the mothership is doing it. So it's like a Law and Order franchise is what they were trying to do.
Right.
So they said, "Well, just meet the executive producers." So okay. So how do you not take the meeting if I like the show? So they already had Rutt and Tanner, and I got a call. And boys, it wasn't like you go to the studio. You know how we used to go to the Warner Brothers, you go to Paramount, you go to a meeting, you go to a producer's office. It wasn't like that at all. It goes, "Go to this church parking lot, look for a Mitsubishi Evo." I'm like, "This is a ransom drop. What are you kidding me?" The next sentence is, "and no cops." That's the next sentence. right? So
I just met this guy.
hey man. So I pull in. It was in the valley. So I go to this church parking lot in the valley. There's a Mitsubishi Evo, a bunch of cameras, and a bunch of English guys running around. Okay. Hi, I'm Adam. Oh, good to see you and everything. So there was cameras up in the car. We meet everybody. We're talking. They put us in the car. And Tanner, the guy on the left, is a race car driver, right? And he's and the other guy, Rut, was a NASCAR guy. So they had those two. So I get in the car and I'm in the passenger seat, and he's like, we start doing donuts. We just start jacking around in the car, and the cameras are rolling, making each other laugh. And I started planning a robbery because I figured if you can drive like this, you're a wheelman. I'm like, we can. And they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? I go, it's easy. What are you kidding? Well, first of all, you can outrun anybody. We just got to make it. You know, we just got to make it to where we can all, you know, split up. They can't chase three of us. And then we meet around, and then we meet up, and then we'll whack up the money later. And they're like, what the? And I left, you know? So I guess I made somebody laugh because they asked me to come back. So I kept coming back. I went back. It had to be 6-8 months. They kept calling me back. And every time I left, they go, well, that was fun, you know? But it was like 6-8 months. And finally, the last time they said they want to see you back again. And I go, I'm not going. I go, nothing's going to be different. I said, this is it. What am I going to do this time that they're going to be like, oh, no, that's him. I said, I'm not going. So I hung up the phone. The phone rang. Go. Okay. So I went. And then I told the guy in the middle of it, I called John Hessling, who was our executive producer. And I go, listen, this is it. This is it. I'm done. I want to thank you for your time and the lunch. This is it. All right. Yeah. So, and he was laughing. I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. And I left. He goes, he wants you to come back. And I went, no. And I didn't go back. And then 2 days later, they called, they gave me the job.
There you go. So you got to play.
So when I was so I don't know if you remember this. I called you when I was in England. I was with my nephew, who was a little kid. Who's like a car nut, and he goes. And I used to watch Top Gear, the English one, with him all the time. And he goes, "Oh, I got to show you this." He goes, "This is so cool." And he goes, "Look at this. This is the American Top Gear." And you come walking out, and I was like, "I know that guy." He's like, "You don't." He goes, "You don't know him at all." I go, "Yeah, I do." So we called you, I think, from England. And you had sent them like some pictures and stuff, and then to make it even better, I told them that you were the Stig. You guys that don't know, the Stig, I guess, is like this on the show. They don't let anybody know who he is, but
he's a hit race. I'm trying to think if I got a.
He's like a Formula One car racer. He wears
driver,
like
right?
a white suit, and he's tall and skinny. And I told my nephew, I go, he's really the Stig. He's like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's why he's on this show.
That was the best. That's the best part of the. I'm sorry, Mike. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to ask if you were always like such a big car guy. I mean, I don't remember.
Here's the thing with cars is my dad could fix anything. And that's when I got to know him because I loved being with my dad. So I know how they work. You know, well, not now. The carburetor's gone. You know, it's now you don't need a wrench. You need a laptop. You know, you pick up the hood. There should be a sign. Call the guy. You're gonna fuck it up.
No, actually, I just had my the carburetor on my motorcycle. I just had it redone. So there are still, if we're keeping them running.
I got a 70 deuce and a quarter pre-cat. So I start that thing up. It smells like a dock fire. That thing is just. It's got the 455. The cam and
just love you, don't they?
Oh, they can't stand. Oh, so my neighbors. I'm driving home right in my neighborhood, and I think it was Obama's reelection. They were doing a fundraiser 3 blocks from my house, and the street was closed off. And that's the street I go up because it's a wide street. So I'm driving it, and this is an old Buick 225. It's a beast. It's 18 feet 5 inches. Wow. I have 3 garages at my house. It doesn't fit in any of them. Yeah. It doesn't. It's huge.
It's like a small boat.
Oh, it's horrible. And I dropped the suspension. I painted black cherry metallic. I split the exhaust. I got 2.5-inch pipes coming out of the manifold. No cat, just straight through the resonators. and I smoked out the windows, and I drive around Santa Monica, and I play Parliament Funkadelic, and I scare white people. It's great. It's just, so I'm coming up this street. And the Secret Service are there, and there's a guy, this big Ving Rhames looking guy is just standing there, stopping. And I go, and the guy's trying to stop me. And I go, I'm yelling. I go, I live here. So because I don't know what's going on. There's no sign. I come to find out later that this is what was going on. and this Ving Rhames leans into my window with the earpiece, with the thing, like, Traveler's got the football. Traveler's got the football, that kind of thing. So he leans in. And he looks at me and he's mean mugging me. And I'm trying to hold it together. I peed a little bit, but I'm trying to hold it together. Right? It's like grief coming up on you. You're trying to keep it together. It's not going to happen. So I'm sitting there and I'm nervous. And the guy leans in and he goes like this. He's like, Wildcat, deuce and a quarter. I go, it's a deuce and a quarter. He's like, I go home. He didn't let me go because he liked the car.
If he didn't like the car, you would have had to wait.
I have a 72 TR6 that's totally restored.
Nice.
And on Top Gear, they said that's the only official real sports car that ever came out of England. Mm-hmm. So it's like the seal of approval. But I was driving down, the same type of thing. I was driving down, and it's like, woo, woo, woo. Cop pulls me over, he gets out of the car, license and registration. I'm getting it out. He walks up and he goes, you don't need that. I just want to look at your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they pulled me over all the time. Too, to look at my car.
You have
it's like
a heart
attack. Strong movie.
You have a heart attack, right? And they look at your car.
Yeah. I had Ann Wilson from Heart on my podcast, right? So she's telling me stories, and she did the forward to Bob Spitz's Zeppelin book. There's a new Zeppelin book out. So so she did the forward to it. So they sent me the book. I read the book, and there's a story. They're playing, Zeppelin's just played the LA Coliseum, and Bonham just got a brand new Trans Am. And he's after the gig, he's in the Trans Am. They delivered. He's screaming down Sunset Boulevard. I mean, just this is when you could scream down Sunset Boulevard. Yeah. Cops, like helicopters. I mean, they're calling everybody. Right? Everybody pulls off. Cops are chasing him. He's not stopping. He's John Bonham. He's just screaming. They pull him over. They got guns drawn. He gets out of the car. He's like this. He goes, "Oh, come here. Look at this thing. I just played this blinding gig at the Coliseum. They sent over this car. Look at this motor." And they picked it up, and all the cops are coming around like, "Oh shit, is that the big block?" And they're all looking at the car. And they figured out, is that the turbo 400 transmission? And they okay, all right, just be careful. Would you like tickets to the next show? Yeah. And he got away with it because he's John Bonham.
Oh, that's freaking amazing.
Dangerfield used to do that too. Dangerfield, I forget who told me the story. I'll say John Joseph. I'm probably wrong. But Dangerfield, when Rodney was at the height, he'd do whatever he wanted to do, like speed and everything. And the cops pulled him over. And I heard the story. I don't think I heard it from John. I heard the elevator story from John. And he goes, "Watch this." And the cops go like registration. He goes, "Rodney!" And they all just are happy to see him. He got away with shit.
It only happened to, I'm sure it's happened to you, but it happened to me once. And this was when I was doing a lot of TV shows, and I'm driving through Texas, and I'm doing 100 and something miles an hour because Texas is like forever to get through. And I get pulled over, and anyone who knows in Texas, they don't let you get away. Anyway, I had just done the second home improvement, so the face was there. And the cop looks at me and he goes, where you coming from? I said, I was coming from Florida. He goes, "Where you going?" I go, "California." He goes, "What are you doing in California?" I said, "I'm an actor." And he actually let me go with a warning, which normally, I mean, when I first moved to California, and the way I look, I don't know if the order, I would get pulled over because I lived in Burbank, which if anyone knows is like a really, upper middle class, whatever. Yeah. I would get pulled over every night on the way home, the cops, and by the same cop, and they'd put out all wants and warrants on me, knowing they had just pulled me over the night before,
So all these stories really give me an idea of where I stand in show business, because none of that has ever happened to me when I get pulled over. All my pullovers end up in sex. So
well, that's what
I had some woman. I got recognized. And I told this woman, where she goes, "Where do I know you from?" So it's like, and I don't know, where have you been? I don't know what to tell her.
You got to give him your resume.
Yeah, you feel like such an idiot. Yeah. So I told, so I maybe. She goes, I said, I was no, that's not it. No, that's not it. I'm boys. I'm sitting there going, that's not it. She goes, "I know why. You look like Stephanie's son. That's why I know you. I don't know who Stephanie is. I don't know what the kid looks like."
That was your highest paying gig.
That happens all the time. Do you know the actress Kay Callan? If you don't know her, she played Superman's mom in Lois and Clark. She's a very I'm putting groceries in my car with my mom out here, and I hear my mom go, "Oh, you look familiar. Are you from Long Island?" And I hear, "No, I'm an actress." And I get up and I'm like, "Mom, that's Kay Callum. She's Superman's mom." She goes, "Oh, from Long Island?" I'm like, "No, she's out here."
The only recognized thing I ever got like that was I did a comic strip live years ago, and it was like I did some stupid airline jokes or something. And the next morning I was getting on the plane, and I walked on, and the flight attendants were all standing there, and they looked at me and they went, "Not a word." Like, I think I called them a waitress with a death wish or something.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What do you get recognized most from though, Adam? I mean, you've had this incredible.
It depends. Like I do, like
career.
I get Top Gear a lot. I get it's Rescue Me and Top Gear, the top two, and then I think they're rerunning a movie called Little Italy because I got that a couple of days ago for a couple. So that it depends on what's rerunning. Grief, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, like because you never know. But I did this movie about two pizza families, and I think that's running because I just got recognized for that. But I don't know what it's running on anymore. You know, usually you turn on the TV, you could see something. Now I don't even turn on the TV anymore. This is okay. I have 6 TVs in my house. I end up watching football on my phone over the sink, eating popcorn because I know how to work the phone.
Yeah.
This is how feeble I am. I can't work. This is tech support in my house. Honey, that's how I got to fix shit.
I know. I wanted to ask you, this just came up when you mentioned this, but I guess it had to be 15 years ago. You and Joe Starr were in this movie where all it was vignettes about jokes.
The National Lampoon movie.
Oh my God! Well, and the guy from Law and Order was in it too, wasn't he?
Chris Maloney. Chris Maloney produced. I forget how I got that gig. Chris Maloney produced it, and they shot it right down here at Chelsea Piers. He was one of the producers, and Mario Cantone, who I love Mario, and he was in. I was all right, I'll go down for a couple days, and I did it, and then. He said, I was talking to Maloney. Like, well, I said, yeah, we call Joe because Joe, for some reason there was a bit or a joke or something, and Joe was it. So but it was a strange thing, Craig. It was like I don't know how that happened.
But it's on late night. It used to be on late night HBO, and I used to watch it. Going, this is like it's really bizarre, but if you're stoned, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's every joke you told.
It's a lot like life.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill you, but if you're stoned, you can find some joy in it.
Find something and you love and let it kill you, right?
Where are you living now, Adam? You in the West Coast or East Coast?
I'm right now in my little apartment in New York. I'm down in the village here, and but I got my house in California, so I go back and forth. But this is the little outpost. You could tell all that. This is where all the stuff collects.
So my daughter was looking at this apartment in the village the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
just happened to be your apartment.
It was listen to this. She'll love this. Having an apartment in the city. It was 600 square feet.
Right.
It was $1.8 million, $2,500 a month maintenance fee, and they called it a loft. And she goes, it had just like a wooden ladder straight up to this thing. And they had a camp mattress up there because you couldn't sit up.
Yeah, I got. Wait. There's my law.
That's like nice.
Yeah, it's a little.
That sounds like my guest condo.
Yeah, that's my little loft. I go up, I sleep up there, and there's if you can see you can see over the little balcony, and I go up there like a Vita.
Yes, with plenty of light, natural light.
This one wouldn't be able to fit a piece of glass block.
That's New York. I mean, New York and California are probably the most expensive places to live in the. And
I got a house in both. Okay.
And I got a wait. I don't even know this guy.
Yeah. But it's a trash. Like right now, I'm back here now. I finish up this little tour. I fly back Halloween, so I'm at the Cellar. I've been at the Cellar all week because I'm just a better comic in New York, boys. It's like I can't. You can come here, you can do 5 sets a night, and it's just you're following killers. So it's just bang, bang, bang.
I haven't been there in 1,000 years.
I always look at it this way: we go on the road and we write stuff. That's like buying cocaine. Then you come back to the city and you boil it off. You go to the Cellar and you make crack. and you just look at the solid shit you got. So that I do this every couple of months. And I got I don't know when this drops, but Saturday I'm at the Keswick Theater. Saturday I'm at the Keswick Theater, and then the 29th, yeah, and then I'm at the Tempe Improv Thanksgiving weekend, November 25 through 27, and there's dates on AdamFerrara.com. But we just keep dancing. It's the same thing. We just do it quicker.
It's cool that you keep your foot in it, man. I'll tell you, it's like I made the mistake of when whatever it was in the 90s and then the early 2000s. I was doing a lot of acting work, and I kind of fell away from the stand-up for a few years. And it's that thing. It's like, especially in a showcase town, it's hard to get the time back together to get enough, So it's like I did a show the other day, but I haven't been working as a stand-up for years. But it's still my first love. I still love going out and getting on that stage. It's the thing.
Because it's everything for me. You're the writer, producer, director. You get the instant feedback from the audience. You make changes, and you're crafting, you're co-creating with that audience energy. So that's fun to do. I mean, we've been doing this. We've all been in country over 30 years. Yeah. But when you're on a set, it's a weird. You get that environment. That's just so much fun. Is being on a set, and I've been so lucky. Gentlemen, I've been so lucky to be involved in TV shows that were like families. I mean, it's a cliched thing, but when you feel it, it is. Rescue Me, Jackie, Top Gear. I mean, those guys. I'll tell you the Edie Falco story. So I'm doing Top Gear, and I get called in to read with Edie for this. So I get the gig, and now my mother becomes queen of the day room. Because I get to get, my son is working with Edie Soprano. Really? So I thought he was the fireman. No, that's just, he just did that to do that. This is acting, because, This is okay. So Edie's on the Tonight Show, right? And she mentions my name because I'm joining the cast. And Edie Soprano said his name. So my mother, she mentioned her kids too, or whatever it was. My mother found out she got 2 kids. So my mother, my dad passes away, and since then my mother knits. That's how she processes grief. I have more Afghans than Kabul. I mean, she's still in the black dress, boys. So she's, so she's knitting, right? So she finds out that Edie's got 2 kids. So she goes, Adam, I made these hats for Edie's. She's a single mother. She's working. When does she have time to knit? I go, I don't know, Ma. I don't know if there's even a loom in the house. I have no idea.
She's totally loomless.
Yeah, I no idea. So she made these hats for her 2 kids, these winter hats. And they're awful. She doesn't know what she's doing yet. They're like, the brim is over here. There's one is, they're like little Elephant Man hat, little John Merrick collection hats. They're just... They're awful. I want you to give these to Edie Soprano. Okay. So I got a bag of misshapen hats that I got to give to Edie. And I'm 2 seconds away from going to buying a couple of hats and just saying my mother made these, but it says made in Taiwan.
I kept thinking that just now. Why didn't just go buy a couple?
I thought about it, but I'm like, there's no way she did. This is... Yeah, and she ironed on a Knicks emblem. She can't do it. So I go, Edie, look, my mother made. She goes, oh my God, what is your mother's address? Okay, so Edie sent her a card and a letter. Thank you so much. Your son is so sweet. Nice. Sent it to my mother. 3 days later, I get a call. Let me tell you what a lady Edie Soprano is. She sent a lovely thank you card with a note. She didn't make it wasn't an email. She didn't push send. The lady went to the store, bought a card, put pen to paper. She licked a stamp and she walked to the mailbox and sent a card to another person. And the letter was just so sweet. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. What'd you do with the letter? I had it laminated. What? Yes. She goes, well, first I made a copy of it so I could bring the copy to the day room to show the girls because I don't want anything to happen to the original. So I had it laminated, and it's in the curio next to the good dishes and the pictures of Sinatra. Okay.
Oh my God, that's so Italian. It's like you got to laminate the card, the furniture. They laminate. You guys laminate everything.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
The John Merritt collection. I thought I was going to throw up coffee.
Oh God. So, but that set was just, the kids would come. Wednesday the kids were in, and it was, we were all. When you feel that, and I know we've all had the privilege to do that. I think that's one of the benefits that we have it, and why we do it. It's just a great time.
I had that feeling on Home Improvement because I did. I used to hang out with Labriola when I moved out here, and so he was the reoccurring on Home Improvement. Basically, we hung out so we would eat. Man, I hung out at Craft Service. LA. I freaking lived off of that show for a couple of years but I got to know everybody, and it was like family, and it was just that feeling you're talking about. I was so blessed to do a couple of episodes of that thing, but even if I didn't, I was hanging out, eating free, but I know the feeling.
You know what I do in New York sometimes if I'm walking home and I'll see a set, I'll know somebody, I'll know a cameraman, I'll know somebody on the set, but I always walk past the PA and go, where's Crafty? And I'll get a cup of coffee. And I'll wander onto the set and hey,
because everyone they see you and they go, he's working on the show. They just assume, and it's like,
but
free
you get free
meals,
coffee,
man. Yeah, that was Kennison's advice to me as a comic was to date waitresses so you can eat.
I remember years ago it was Hawthorne and I forget who, but we went to see Eddie on the set at Paramount. Mm-hmm. We just talked our way in, and Hawthorne goes, "What's this?" So he picks up a clipboard off a table, and he has a piece of paper in it. And we walk right onto the set, and this guard comes up to us and goes, before he could say anything, "Who are you?" Hawthorne picks up the piece of paper and he goes, "So if you notice up there, that was I designed that from a sketch that I saw of an old building in Italy." And the guy goes, "Oh, okay." And we just walk right up. We could have been like murderers.
Yeah, but see, pre 9/11, you could just even here in Hollywood,
it was crazy.
We used to walk onto Warner Brothers right through security. Nobody would stop you. I remember walking onto the set of Everybody Loves Raymond. Just say, "Hey, Ray, how you doing?" And whatever. And it's before 9/11.
Grief. How are you?
Exactly.
Oh, I had Brad Garrett on the show. He was a sweet man. What a sweet dude he is. And he was telling me, because he did two of the shows that were huge in my childhood, which was The Odd Couple, because you watch that at 11 o'clock, and then 11:30 you watch The Honeymooners.
Right.
And then you go to bed, So, and he played Gleason, and he played
that's right.
And he played Murray, the cop on Broadway with Nathan. And I had Nathan Lane. I had Nathan Lane on the show too. I was so nervous to talk to Nathan because I did the interview over Zoom, right? And I changed my shirt twice, and my wife was laughing at me. I go, "What are you doing?" I'm nervous. I want to look nice for Nathan.
Who wouldn't be intimidated, man? Fucking Nathan Lane, come on.
Yeah, really.
The sweetest man you ever want to meet. He told a story. He told a story on the show. He had movie night. Him and his husband had movie night with Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks. They're sitting there watching a movie. And they're fighting like a married couple. Carl, rewind it. You went too far. You got to go back. You went too far. I want to see that part, not this part.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God! And if you watch, he's on. I was just gonna say he's on. Murders, only murders in the building.
Look, you guys know how much work it is to have a.
There you go.
We got you. Back. There you go. You're back.
Is Grief back?
I'm
back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Look, you guys all know how much work goes into a podcast, but when you have an excuse to, because I always feel bad about calling people. It's like I feel like an insurance salesman. Look, people don't plan to fail; they fail to plan. I don't want to see that happen to you, John. What if something goes wrong with the chair? You can't do your closer. I don't want that to happen to you. So you keep calling your contacts but when you can like I just had Billy Gardell on, and I just got to reconnect.
Yeah,
my
we
best
had
friends.
Billy.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
one of
we
my
had-
best friends. Yeah.
what a sweet
What a
man, and he lost all the
sweetheart,
weight.
Yeah.
He lost all the weight. He looks great.
Gave it to me. He gave it to me.
He gave it to you. You look good.
Matter
I'll
of
tell
fact,
you
Billy,
what, Craig.
I met-
I've seen you bigger.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was about 100 pounds bigger when I saw you at Flappers. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I saw the look in your eyes. Your eyes got like sources. Like, holy crap!
Back to Flappers.
Hey, that's the last time I saw him.
Yeah, it's great.
man.
Oh, I
You don't
thought of
feel-
you. I thought of you. I was reading this book on Irwin Allen, who did Lost in Space. Yeah, warning.
Warning.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my old robot comedian thing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Owen Allen.
that guy. So that period of time. That's a nice thing about living in LA is all the things that we knew from they're still there. The whiskey is still there.
Yeah.
It was
You know,
too
the
good.
troubadour is still there.
Yeah.
You know, and you
Matter
read
of
these.
fact, I was
Yeah.
just down there the other day. I went down to we saw the interactive the Van Gogh interactive, and then we hit Chin Chins, and then of course looking at the Roxy and all the clubs. You know,
Adam, have you been to the Peterson? You must have.
Yeah. I've been okay. So I'm at the Peterson. I share stuff at the Peterson. They took me in the basement, right, where they rotate all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I hate to go back to my podcast, but that's what I've been doing. I had Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top on the show,
Oh,
and
God.
his Cadzilla, his 49 Caddy with the suicide doors is down there.
Oh yeah.
And I told him, I said, I saw the Cadzilla. He goes, it's still in the basement. I go, yeah. He goes, he told me the story. Do you know why the 34 Coupe, the Ford Coupe, is on the Eliminator album cover? He goes, Billy said, my accountant said if I put it on the album cover, it's a tax deduction.
That's awesome.
that's funny.
Built that car, deducted it.
There
So
you
yeah,
go.
so I was at the Peterson. I'm in the basement. They show me around. They showed me the Pantera that Elvis bought for Priscilla, and the bullet hole was going. You're banging the karate instructor. So they showed me that. They showed me. This is my favorite story. So the Pope goes to Mexico, right? So the Mexican government makes a Pope mobile for him. It's a DTS Caddy. They cut the back off and made an El Camino out of it and put a fishing chair up there. That's all it was. So it was like a Caddy El
Put a
Camino with a
fishing
fishing
chair on it. He's getting
That's it.
souls.
Yeah, he's sitting there like this. No glass, grief, just a fishing chair in the back
That's
of
a
his
fishing chair. Frankie,
On
I
a
need more bait.
DTS Caddy. Yeah. So the Pope lands, right? Swiss guard takes him out. The Pope blesses it, and the Swiss guard leans over to the Pope. He's like, "You're not riding this piece of shit, Papa. Come on." But the car is there. So I asked him. I said, "Can I sit in the chair? Can I take a picture?" And the guy went, "You can." But the last two guys that did that got really, really sick. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need a curse put on me. I'll just take a picture from here."
They forgot to strap in.
Yeah.
In the fishing chair. Oh, that's
Yeah, I was
funny,
like,
man.
I was like, the Pope is up there. Hooper, wet the line, wet the reel, Hooper.
Crazy. Fun stuff.
We didn't even get to Halloween. We were going to talk about
I
Halloween.
know.
Yeah, I know.
I know we're almost
Yeah.
out of time.
I know.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun being able to do the stuff that we get to do. It's
Yeah.
like I guess as we continue on this little journey we got, I realize here's this weird thing. Let me know if you guys are here too. Like I can see more beauty in the world, yet I'm terrified. How does that happen? Like, well, there is love in the world, and we're all gonna fucking die. How do you reconcile that?
That's the way it's always been, though.
I personally don't think about any of that shit. If life hasn't fucking killed me yet, and all the shit that I've been through, it ain't gonna. And if it does kill me, so what? It's been a nice fucking ride.
Well, Mike, I tell you, Harvard did a study. You're going to fucking die too. I don't know what plans you think you have.
Oh, I know I'm gonna die. I'm planning
The
on
clock's running.
it. Dude. It's like they told me if you drink, you smoke, you do drugs, you're gonna die. And I'm like, when? I'm fucking
That's like the
waiting.
guy. That's like
You can't
that's
make
like-
promises like that and fucking leave me here.
That's like this guy in the gym comes up to me, right? He's like Joe Gym Rat. He comes up to me and goes, "Good job, man, being in the gym. Let me tell you something. Every 10 minutes you spend in this gym, you'll live a minute longer." I'm going, that doesn't sound like much of a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go 10 minutes in the gym for a minute longer on a feeding tube. I mean,
Yeah, can I go back and do the 10 more minutes when I was 26? Can I do that?
Oh my God!
I'm working out now. I tell everyone, it's like I'm fucking pumping iron like a madman. I want to be strong enough to be one of my own pallbearers.
Yeah, I work out so things don't get worse. I'm in the prevent defense. I've stopped trying. Like I've made my halftime adjustments. I'm going to get ripped. I'm going to get abs. Like I'd be happy now if I can bend down and pick up money I dropped. That's a goal.
There you go.
Yeah, if you
can
$10
my ass
last
without
week.
getting a cramp.
every time I bend down to pick up, every time I bend down, something pops. It's like or cracks, and I'm like, that can't be good.
Yeah,
that was like that. That's like that Ray Romano joke. He goes, once you become 40, you lay in bed and you go, got one on the other side. Oh,
it's a set.
40's nothing. When you get to be 60, that's when the wheels really start to come off, man.
Hey, fuck you when you get to become 70. I'm fucking 72.
Yeah, but you're like,
you look good.
Your godmother's keeping you alive.
You want to buy a Buick?
I'm 72. 72, still surfing.
You're surfing? God bless you.
I'm going to Costa Rica for my son's wedding and a little surfing next week.
That's great.
Pisses me off. He's 72 and he's in better shape than me.
That's
It's not a big
72. I'll be freaking dead 3 years.
He has the most muscular legs. Even his surgeon said so.
I had to have my hip replaced in May.
Really?
There was nothing wrong with it. He just had it replaced.
I just had it replaced. I had
just traded it in.
Wait, the doctor comes walking in, right? And he has on one of those little Pee Wee Herman suits
Mm-hmm.
and red Adidas and no socks. And he goes, I know. I look young. I do 1,000 of these a year. And was like, he goes, nothing to this hip. I was like, yeah. And yeah, you have the surgery 10 in the morning, 12 o'clock, you're back in the room. 1 o'clock, they got you walking. 7:30 the next morning, you're in physical therapy, and 8 o'clock, you're home.
Was Dave Hawthorne in back of him with a little clipboard? I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
I know.
John, I gotta ask: was this a drive-through, or were you in a hospital?
It was almost like a drive-through. It was so fast. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I need a quart of milk and a hip.
Yeah,
I mean,
a dairy barn. I need a hip for a 72 surfer.
I don't even
Out of
understand
20.
72 surfer.
It was the incisions like that big.
Mm.
It's like I don't even get it. I walk in there and he goes, "You surf?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, that's why you got this arthritis."
Because so surfing did it.
Yeah, he goes, sitting on the board with your legs like that. How long you been surfing? I go, 50 years. He goes, "Yeah, that's it. You do."
You do.
Yeah.
So you're sitting on the board, made the
with
hip
your
go.
hips like wide out,
I think I'm going to avoid that.
So I'm going to blame my motorcycle now for my fucking hips and everything.
Yeah, you got to have something.
A motorcycle's this wide. A surfboard's like wide.
A motorcycle is wider than a surfboard, John. It probably as wide.
No, it's not.
No, on the motorcycle, it's going to be hemorrhoids, right?
And prostate.
And prostate.
Really
The prostate actually gets a workout. That's actually not bad.
Poor Grief's got Harley hip.
I got Cham the Jewish, but I got a Holly hip.
He's got a Holly hip.
I got a Holly hip.
He needs a fat boy transplant.
Give me a little boy. I'm so old. I got a soft tail now. Hey,
Mike Grief, the world's most intimidating Jewish person.
For sure.
I don't know about that. I got a friend named Jaime. Let me tell you, Jaime, give you a pinch. You never had a pinch like my friend Jaime will give you.
Man.
Crazy.
Adam, I can't tell you how good it is to see you, brother.
Yeah,
where'd I go? There I am.
This hour flew by.
You too, my friend.
Yeah,
it's really fun. Thank you so much.
You're doing fantastic.
You gotta find
good to see you.
You gotta find a quick clip of Cola. Put on at the beginning.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we have to.
You know, Adam, I always wanted to say this.
Oh yeah, there's a couple clips.
We started out about the same time, probably 6 to 8 months apart. And you're the first comic I saw from the first time I saw you go on stage and went, this guy's special. I swear to God, we said that, and you just took off, man. And I couldn't be happier. And you still crack me up. You son of a bitch.
I just saw the funniest thing ever about you guys. When Margie, my ex-wife, used to be the manager of the East Side Comedy Club, when you and Kevin used to come in the beginning and she didn't know your name, and she used to go, you know those two comics, Laurel and Hardy?
Nice.
That is very funny. That is very funny.
It's a Pomodoro restaurant now.
Wait, this is a great. You know what it looks like now?
Signs.
You know, it looks like, you know, it's now considered a historic building in Huntington.
Mm-hmm. It is?
But yeah, it's on the. So I'm with Richie in Huntington not that long ago, and we drive by and we see the restaurant, and Richie slams the brakes and goes, "Son of a bitch! They found my plans."
At least they didn't dig in the foundation and find the bodies.
I went by and I went back there years ago. I went back there, and Kevin and I taped a wiffle ball strike zone on the back wall.
Oh yeah.
And I think they painted over it, but you could faintly see where we did it because it was like we painted, taped it, and then painted the tape, and we painted day glow because we kept yelling at each other. "That was a strike," you know. So we kept. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Every time I think of the back of that East Side, I remember once Richie, I was having like some anxiety problems, and Richie's like, "You got to get a dog, man." He's driving me home. "You got to have a dog. You know, a dog is like." You know, dog is like the best, you know. And he's going on about a dog, and this dog, and all of a sudden he just slams on the brakes. He goes, "Oh shit! I left my dog tied up behind the club." We had to go back, and there's this poor dog in the middle of the parking lot, like, "Oh."
On that note, we have to say goodbye, guys. I'm sorry. It's
so much fun.
Good to see you guys. Be well, be happy. Okay. Let's laugh again soon.
Yes, definitely. Hey, I think I still have your number, man. I'll give you a call when you're back in LA. We'll grab some chin-chins one day.
Please do, my friend.
All right,
brother.
Very cool.
Well, hey, that was a great time. Thanks so much, Adam. It was great seeing you. Continued success. Let's have a round of applause for Adam. God, I haven't laughed that hard in
long. Me too.
Oh, my God. We got to get a clip of Joey because, I mean, people have to see what he was imitating. I mean, I was just laughing my ass off.
Oh, I couldn't. Yeah. It was just too funny. Wow. Well, listen, have a great Halloween weekend. Be good, be spooky. And we're on www.strongisland.com. We're on Roku and the Fire Stick for Strong Island Entertainment. You download the app. Roku. Watch us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch TV.
Twitch TV.
Twitch TV on your Fire Stick.
Hey. I feel like Max Headroom. Hey.
I'm so happy I don't even have to do that video. The show's too long. So, anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, man. Bye, everybody.
Right. Bye-bye.